Hello, welcome to our show. Today we are going to talk about the two biggest players in the CPU market, Intel and AMD. Both companies have been competing with each other for decades, and the competition has only gotten more intense over the years. In this show, we will discuss the differences between Intel and AMD CPUs, their strengths and weaknesses, and which one is better for you. So a bit of history. Let's start with a brief history of both companies. Intel was founded in 1968 and has been the dominant player in the CPU market for many years. AMD, on the other hand, was founded in 1969 and has been playing catch-up with Intel for most of its existence. However, in recent years, AMD has made significant strides in the CPU market and has become a serious competitor to Intel. When it comes to performance, both Intel and AMD have their strengths and weaknesses. Intel CPUs are generally better at single-threaded tasks, while AMD CPUs are better at multi-threaded tasks. This means that if you are doing tasks that require a lot of cores, such as video editing or rendering, then an AMD CPU might be the better choice. However, if you are doing tasks that require high clock speeds, such as gaming, then an Intel CPU might be the better choice. Let's talk about price. Another factor to consider when choosing between Intel and AMD CPU is price. Generally speaking, AMD CPUs are cheaper than Intel CPUs. This means that if you are on a tight budget, then an AMD CPU might be the better choice. However, if you are willing to spend more money, then an Intel CPU might be the better choice. Regarding power consumption is another factor to consider when choosing between Intel and AMD CPUs. Generally speaking, AMD CPUs consume more power than Intel CPUs. This means that if you are building a system that needs to be energy efficient, then an Intel CPU might be the better choice. However, if you are building a system that doesn't need to be energy efficient, then an AMD CPU might be the better choice. In conclusion, both Intel and AMD CPUs have their strengths and weaknesses. When choosing between the two, you need to consider your specific needs and budget. If you are doing tasks that require a lot of cores, then an AMD CPU might be the better choice. If you are doing tasks that require high clock speeds, such as gaming, then an Intel CPU might be the better choice. If you are on a tight budget, then an AMD CPU might be the choice for you. If you are building a system that needs to be energy efficient, then an Intel CPU might be the best choice. Ultimately, the choice between Intel and AMD CPUs comes down to a specific needs and budget. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening to our show. We hope you found it informative. Tune in next time. And remember, if you need expert advice, don't hesitate to contact Lightning Fast IT on WhatsApp on 072 792 0079.